Imagine after a long day of work or school, you finally have time to play a video game you like, but you keep losing and losing to the point where you get so mad that you never want to play it again. Well, this is no longer just imagination. What you're about to see is how AI-driven matchmaking systems control and ruin our gaming experience. And the game we are talking about is Marvel Rivals. For those who don't know what it is, Marvel Rivals is the hero shooter game where players choose characters from the Marvel universe, each with unique abilities, and compete as a team of 6 against opposing team. It's essentially Overwatch, but in third person, with more context and arguably more fun.
Yeah, he's dead. That.
Wolverine has ult, I think.
He missed.
Trying to heal you. Stay middle point.
I'm almost back.
I got Luna ult. I'm gonna follow now.
Yeah, nice. Get Luna, push Luna. Let's push Luna.
Mag.
Damage boosting.
Luna dead.
Wolverine no passive.
In fact, the game is so engaging that it peaked at nearly 650,000 concurrent players 1 month after its release, an extremely rare milestone that only a handful of games have achieved. But Marvel Rivals has a serious problem that is making people think the game is actually evil. Players have started feeling frustrated or even outraged at the matchmaking system because fairness doesn't seem to exist. Those game matches often feel like either complete stumps or getting stumped, meaning they are either so easy that it feels like playing against bots, or so insanely difficult that players get absolutely destroyed with no chance of winning.
Somebody come on me, I'm about to clear it. Wait for it.
A little help, please.
Close games are rare. Instead, one team almost always wins by a landslide. To make matters worse, many players have noticed a pattern. They go on long losing streaks, but if they log out and return the next day, their first match is almost guaranteed to be the win. And this isn't just happening in Marvel Rivals Quick Play, the standard game mode, but also in rank mode, where you earn points to rank up or lose points to get demoted. Of course, some people argue that this is just a normal matchmaking behavior. If you are a decent player, you will win more and climb the ranks until your rank matches your skill level. And if you're a pro player, you'll win most of your games against casuals, and some people even manage to achieve a 100% win rate as they climb to Grandmaster, which represents roughly the top 5% of the Marvel Rivals player base. So many people dismiss matchmaking complaints as a skill issue, saying this kind of matchmaking design also exists in other competitive shooter games like Apex Legends, Valorant, and Overwatch. Sure, that explanation makes sense on the surface, but in reality, Marvel Rivals' matchmaking system might be darker and more manipulative than we think. Inside NetEase, the developer and publisher of Marvel Rivals, sits an AI research lab that focuses extensively on optimizing matchmaking system in online games. Some of their research papers are publicly available, but one particular conference talk by a NetEase researcher caught my attention, and it might explain every matchmaking issue we have been experiencing in Marvel Rivals. If you have time, I encourage you to watch the entire 1-hour presentation, but if not, stick around because what I'm about to show you might completely change how you see and play the game.
We might all have had such an experience that we lost a game which we could have won because of a bad cooperation of teammates. That's to some degree because of the matchmaking system didn't take into account the cooperation factors and your possible anger after such a game. So this brings up a more complex problem that how we devise a more sophisticated matchmaking system to make everyone feel happy or at least not so bad.
The presentation given in July 2021 by Lingsha Gang, one of the core members of the NetEase AI lab, introduced an important term that pretty much dictates the direction of their research: churn pattern.
Now we are trying to discuss a bit about figuring out how happy a game is. The term of churn here is used by convention, and it represents stop playing within a period of time, which is a magic of disengagement.
Churn refers to when the player quits a game for a certain period of time. From a business perspective, it is important and critical to understand and take advantage of churn patterns because it helps companies reduce player drop-off, increase playtime, and ultimately maximize revenue from those who stay engaged. And of course, NetEase factored this into their matchmaking system.
Well, churn rate is always an important index for games, and there are several time windows to measure the churn of a player, like day one churn, which means the player doesn't come back in the second day. And similarly, we have day 3 churn, day 7 churn, like weekly churn, monthly churn, and half-year churn, annual churn, etc. The reasons of churns are various. Maybe it's because the game is not interesting to them anymore. Maybe it's because the person is just busy for this period. Not all the causes of churns can be mitigated by matchmaking. So we usually select the churn index carefully. Apart from the traditional day 1, day 3, day 7 churns, we have another more measure, which is called 8-hour churn in matchmaking. A player is labeled as 8-hour churner if they do not play any match within the next 8 hours after playing this match. Because we believe 8 hours is kind of a threshold to split a continuous play slot.
Here's where things get more interesting. NetEase researchers created a formula to measure player satisfaction, also known as player utility, that plays a role in how matchmaking is designed. This formula considers several factors: match fairness, the skill balance between teams, match duration, churn rate, how likely the players are going to quit after a match, and queue time, how long a player waits for a match. Their end goal with this formula is to maximize global player happiness, not individual happiness, but happiness as a whole. This means they prioritize the majority's experience over any single player's experience. Each player is just one part of the equation in the system designed to keep people playing longer and potentially make people buy skins through microtransactions. And not only that, they realized that match fairness, how balanced skills are across both teams, doesn't fully translate to player satisfaction. It's also just one variable in the equation of player happiness. This brings up an important question. How does forcing players into losing streaks or stumps help with player engagement? Well, it's all about maximizing overall satisfaction. NetEase research suggests that long one-sided matches and extended losing streaks actually increase player churn, meaning people are more likely to quit. To counter this, they prefer shorter matches, and they experimented with giving tiny advantage to those desperate and fatigued players in matchmaking.
The defeat streaks will make us lose our users, and we have a plot like this. X-axis is the win-lose fluctuation, and the y-axis is the sharp value on the churn. So when it's positive, it means it leads people to churn. And the color of the points actually refers to the last experienced match duration. So we can find here like some win-lose patterns make higher churns in general. And after experiencing some certain win-lose patterns, players are more sensitive to match durations. Longer duration will push much more people to leave. So how to handle this conclusion? Our suggestion is to give some tiny advantage to the desperate and fatigued players during matchmaking if possible. For example, like we can choose a win rate of 51% instead of the 49% matchmaking proposals for those players. So they will have tiny advantage, tiny more chance to win next time. Kind of.
This was shocking to me, but NetEase matchmaking research actually goes even deeper. Remember how I mentioned AI? Let's take a look at this slide from their presentation. They built an AI-driven matchmaking algorithm using reinforcement learning, a branch of AI. This system analyzes player data, your match history, performance, and even in-game behaviors to control how your next match goes. It has a player selection model, a neural network built in place to determine team assignment and to maximize the predictive player satisfaction before a match starts. The AI knows if a player is losing too much, they are at high risk of quitting.
I don't know about you, but this is how it's going for me. And I'm not having fun. I already want to quit.
It's been a long fight. It's been a long fight, and I just had to have a warrior spirit, and that's all.
To prevent a player from quitting, matchmaking artificially gives the player an easier match. But if you play regularly and you don't quit after losses, the AI will learn and don't feel the need to give you easy wins. Instead, it might push you into harder matches. Also, the system is not static. The AI adjusts in real time based on your in-game performance. With all these AI-driven mechanisms in place, NetEase has created a highly advanced dynamic matchmaking system that shapes how players experience the game. However, all of this information is from 2021. We don't know how much their ideal matchmaking system has evolved over the past 4 years or how exactly it is implemented in Marvel Rivals. As a casual Rivals player with over 200 hours in the game, I can say something is definitely controlling win-loss patterns. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. But at the end of the day, this is just speculation based on existing research and my one small data point along with others. What Marvel Rivals really needs is transparency. NetEase should be open about how their matchmaking system works and improve their system based on community feedback. And I will say this, don't let AI or an algorithm decide how happy people should be when you can just talk to them. Until NetEase reveals more, there's not much we can do about those matchmaking issues, except there are a few tricks we can do to improve our win rates. Team up with better players, log out after losing 2 or 3 matches in a row, and wait for at least 8 hours before playing again. It's just like the research suggested, so the system will know and recognize a dissatisfaction and gives you an easier match next time. Anyway, like, subscribe, and comment to let me know what you think. See ya.